Next part that we are looking at is called the hopper flange. So we're up to sheet number 6. So we're getting through them. This should be hopefully a pretty straightforward sort of one to do. So let's just get on with it. You can also see that this is what the new user interface looks like. So yeah, a little bit modern and a little bit different to the other ones. So yeah, hopefully you'll still be able to find the tools as we go through. So let's go with it. Okay, as with everything, we are creating a sketch to start off with. Let's create that on the front. And if we look at our hopper flange, it's basically a rectangular shape. And without the little bits that stick out on the side, we're looking at a shape that is 200 millimeters wide by 330 tall. So let's go up and grab a rectangle tool, center rectangle, draw our rectangle. So 200 wide, press tab, and it goes 330. So we're ending up with a rectangle like that. So there's our rectangle. So now what we're going to do is we have to then, we can offset that. So we might actually do that while we're in this space before we do any modifications. So we haven't used the offset yet, which is this tool here. Otherwise you might have to go to the modify part. It'll probably still be in the create, but you need to find the offset tool or press O on the keyboard. And you want to grab that and you're going to offset that a distance of 25, I think it is. And so we can just type in minus 25 and okay. So this is going to be the inner and outer parts. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is it's got a little detail drawing in there for us. So they've been so kind as to draw one here, but then they've got a little detail drawing where it's been enlarged and we can look at the measurements that are on there. So if we can zoom in on one corner, it doesn't matter which corner, we'll just go with this. And essentially what we're going to basically do is you're going to create a shape that's going to, whoops, should have done that a little bit better. Be a bit like this. And so you've got a shape that looks like that. Now obviously it's got to be right angles there, so let's go ahead and put a perpendicular constraint between that and that. There we go, it's all straightened them up. Okay, so now we've got that there. What we can do is some dimensions onto that. So press the D for dimension tool on your keyboard. The distance between these two things here is 30 millimeters, so put in 30. And the thickness of each one of those in between this one and this one is 12. And then the so if you did then 30 minus 12, and then that'll give you leftover here. So we can do that. So I'll show you how to do that as an equation. So let's say we did that and we weren't sure what this number was going to be. What we can do is we can write this as an equation. So let's go 30, which is our total distance, minus the 12 that we have. And then we should be able to go to divide by 2 equals, and that's not right. Let's try that again. We should have put the brackets in here. So let's try this again. So we've got the 30 minus 12, and then brackets, we want to go, I think this is right, divided by 2. No. Why have we got the brackets around the other way, maybe? That. That's better. So, so that's sort of straightened it out. So you can see that's automatically lined all these up. So we've got 9 millimeters there, 12, and then 9 on the other side. So you can actually put equations in there to straighten out what it is that you're trying to do and the geometry that you've got in there. Okay, so now that we've sort of got that pretty close, we're going to put the fillets in there, and we've got fillets that are 3 millimeters in the corners. So let's try that. Well, the other bit that we've got to do is from this face here to this face here, is also 20. So let's add that in. And I'll show you how to do an equals constraint. So we should be able to go equal. So let's say that this line here is equal with this line here. That means that they will be the same. If I change this dimension now, both of those lines will change. So it saves you putting a dimension on both of them. You can just go dimensions on one and then use these constraints to add to the other. Okay, so we're going to go to the trim tool. So find the trim tool, trim out that little bit that's in there, because we're going to put some fillets in there now. So find your fillet tool and put a fillet between there, and that fillet you want as 3. And then we want a fillet between there and there. That is also 3. So you can press enter there. So we now got, if I zoom in a little bit, you can see that they're nicely rounded off. We've got 2 fillets in there. We've now got fillets on these outside corners. So let's go to our fillet tool again. We've got a fillet between there and there. And we've got it going to come up. There we go. We should be able to put 3. And we should be able to put a fillet between that line and that line, which should be 3 as well. Okay, so that's starting to look better now already. Okay, so next part is we're going to put a circle in here. So I'm going to just do that as a circle. It's a nice, easy way to do it. There's the midpoint. The midpoint is represented by that triangle. So the circle size has a radius of 6, which means that the diameter is going to be 12. Enter. And what I would like to do is to make sure that those lines there are tangent to our circle. So let's see if we can do that. No, it won't let us do that. Okay, let's trim out the bottom of the circle. Well, actually, let's trim out that. And let's trim out that. Now will it let us do the tangent? Let's try that again. No, it says that we don't need it as it's over constrained, so we can leave it as it is. Okay, the last step that we've got to do is we've got to make sure that the center point of that circle, which is that dot there, is 54 millimeters from the top up here. So we're going to go to our dimension tool, click on the top line, click on the center point, bring it across, and type in 54. And press enter, and that should shift it down. So I think we've all got everything there is all okay now. As far as I can tell, we are all good. The only other thing I think is that that circle looks like it might be, well, actually I don't know if it can be, because they're 20 mils there. It's going to say that the circle might be in here more. There, we can too. Alright, so we want that edge of the circle has to be 3 millimeters from this edge. So if we've got this and this, we're going to do a distance between those 2 points there. So if this circle is 12, that means our radius is 6. Now if our radius is 6, half of the radius would be 3, which means that there'll be 3 mils on this side and 3 mils on that side. So now that is 3 mils in the center. Okay, I think that's all we've got to do now. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Oop. Okay, so the really cool part of what we're going to do now is we're going to basically draw a couple more lines on here, and then we're going to mirror all this geometry across to the other side. So I'm just going to do some construction lines. So you get your line tool, click on the construction tab, and then draw from the center to center. Draw a nice dashed line there, center to center that way. So you end up with a couple more lines there, but that's okay, you won't reuse those. Okay, so now we've got our 2 lines around the place. What we're going to do is we're going to use our mirror tool there. It asks us what objects we're going to mirror. So if I zoom in a little bit and try and bring this over so we've got some space, I'm just going to click and drag over the geometry that we've just drawn, and I'm going to go mirror line is this one here in the mirror middle, and go OK. And you can see that it's placed it on the other side. and then I'm going to do mirror again, and this time I'm going to select all my objects again. This time I'm going to select my mirror line as the horizontal one and go OK, and you can see it's pasted it down the bottom. Lucky last is that we're going to select all those objects one more time, select the mirror line as the vertical line that we drew. It comes over here, go OK. Okay, so there's all our little shapes. You can see that there's lots of things going on there in terms of all that geometry, and it's holding all together. But what I'm going to do is quickly zoom up. You can see that we've got to delete some lines out of here. So find your trim tool and trim away these pieces of geometry that we no longer need. And my computer's a little bit laggy at the moment, but it's still working. Maybe. Hopefully it won't crash on me. So there's one done. Okay, let's scroll down here, zoom in, get rid of this one. Ooh, it's not looking nice at the moment. Come on. There we go, it's still there. Delete that line. Delete that line. Okay, one more to go over this side. Delete this one. Delete that one. And delete that one. Okay, so now we've got all those lines deleted. What we're going to do now is do our extrusion. So we're going to go finish sketch. And we're going to go to our extrude tool, which is this one here. We're going to select that, the shape there. We're extruding that 12 millimeters. And as I said before, I'm just going to go one side this time, but normally I do try and do asymmetrical extrude. So if we look at that, it should be, there we go, do the extrude, go on OK. Now there's our shape. Now we've just got to add some more fillets around the main body of that. So these ones up on the top corner are 10 millimeters. So just going to go to your modify, find the fillet tool, and select the 4 edges that are around the outside. Change the measurement to 10. OK. And then you got to do the 4 inside ones. So go back into your fillet tool again. And the 4 inside ones are 3 millimeters. So you need to select the line that's there. So you've got one. Oops, not that one. Let's try that again. That line there. That line there. That one there. That one there. And they're all 3. Go OK. And that should be our hopper flange done. So pretty straightforward. Don't forget to then save that. And it's obviously not there. So let's go to your 10 CAD, skills tasks, and call this hopper FLANGE. Oops. Hopper flange and save. And that's that part done for you guys.